Hey everyone, I'm just back from an estate sale that I didn't really have high hopes for, but I did find a few treasures. Um, it looks blue, but it's not blue. But I got these pretty tall crystal type lamps. Of course, I got these for myself. They had them for $30, and the lady, just jumped out and volunteered. We'll take 25 for them. So I was like, okay, 25 it is. Then went in the other room. It looked like a bunch of just old junk. It was like looking through the dribs and drabs of my mom when she moved. When she was 86. Little bits of this and that. It was kind of like looking through my mom's old stuff. But I did buy this whole bin full of stuff I got for $5. I just kind of loaded it up and said, to the lady, you want to look through it and tell me how much you want for it? And she said, oh, I'm not gonna look through it. Just call it $5. Like, okay. So between the 2 lamps and the box full of stuff, I only spent $30. These are some linen type napkins. I know hardly anybody uses them anymore. I thought, well, we could use them. Cut down on the paper towel use a little. The other thing was, I noticed it had this great little pattern here in the fabric, which I decided to get it because of another thing I have down in here. This is a kit of some cross-stitching kind of linen stuff. There's my proof of my pair of lamps. I was thinking I might do a little cross-stitching. I used to come up with my own designs and stuff. And I'd already seen this, and a thimble, probably antique, and then this was clearly an old wooden spindle there of thread. You can't find them like that anymore. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have a label. I was hoping there might be more vintage stuff in there, but there really isn't. The lady kept some little scraps of things she was going to make. And sometimes this stuff is interesting, really old. But I may, unless I can find that some of these are super valuable, but I really doubt that, I may just use that and do some cross stitch on these. I'm just thinking that'll be fun to do. Because this is exactly the weave that you want for cross stitch. So boring to you guys who don't do crafts, but anyway, I figured at this cost I can totally goof up and be fine. This is a bag of Easter stuff. Clearly the lady did a lot of dollar store shopping, which I could tell that this is just some old garbage from the dollar store. But I do have Easter baskets to fill for the kids, so I decided I would just get that for that reason. I'll set that down here. My mom mentioned to me yesterday that she needed some cups, and I didn't check that one out carefully. But I can clean that with some Barkeeper's Friend. But these are Corelle, or not Corelle, excuse me, Corning. But they're really good for the microwave, which my mom mostly does. Obviously, these people did too. I should have picked out some cups that weren't so used. Like this one looked good. They all look good, so I didn't look real close. But like I said, that will clean. And so I'll just be giving those to my mom as a gift. Then I got, these are the Corelle. I bought these for us. I have bought them on clearance before at different places, and I've spent like $1 each on clearance. So again, I think I got a really good deal. But that's for our house, and so are the cups. So far, I'm not showing you much picking, am I? Oh, here's the saucers. I decided, even though my mom hardly uses saucers, they're right there. Let me go ahead and get them. So, got those. Let me get that out of the way. Running out of space. And these are like super long sports socks, but clean. It's in the original packaging. I might have to do a little touch up here, but I figured either we will use it but I'll probably sell it because they're so long. They're clearly made for soccer or something. This needs some cleaning up. It's a cake decorating knife. Obviously needs some cleaning up, but they're not cheap to buy. This is Robinson Knife Company, Stainless Steel USA, it says. This thing, don't even know if it works. But this is from, you know, the old days of like transistor radio, and they still had, it's just like my parents just took care of their things. Like, greatest generation, they took care of their things, and maybe we should learn from that. But anyway, not a big Radio Shack fan. But this definitely brings back some memories, and I hope it'll work. They probably, I didn't even check, but they probably already removed the battery. Yep, of course they removed the battery, because they put it in storage. Now we don't. We leave our batteries and stuff till it leaks battery acid all over everything and ruins it, right? But anyway, it's got the, you know, the knobs. So, looked like it worked pretty good. There might be somebody who collects it. Give that a try. And I have, oops, let me bring this whole tray over here. A mess here. I've actually been looking for one of these for myself. Seems like I always need something to butter stuff. So I bought that. It's just cheaper. Throw it in a big thing. And this is some kind of a, I think it's a grapefruit peeler or whatever, but it's Tupperware. And it's vintage. By itself, it won't do anything on eBay. But I kind of promised myself I would collect whenever I find these dribs and drabs of Tupperware things, and I'm going to throw them together and make a big lot. Those can do pretty well. I got this, and I don't like that it says Las Vegas, but it's one of those, you know, they got really big on sticking things in lucite there for a while. And this is one of those from back in the day when your every phone call cost a ton of money. Like if you called, like now we just pick up our cell phone and call anywhere we want. No long distance, especially, or no minutes used even on weekends and all that kind of stuff. But back in the day, if you had to call somebody in another state, and I think you had a certain amount of time before then it would kick into the high gear cost, and a phone call to another state, even just for a minute or two, could be the equivalent of like $7 to $10 our money today. So, you know, people really watch the amount of time they spend on the phone. So that's what that is, just a little timer to use while you're on the phone. And this one, I figured there's people who collect bells, and this is Olympics, and the little thing is still there, and it's still got the hologram. It needs a little cleaning, just a real slight clean. The little bell, maybe it's a little bent and dangled, but you know, in the dangle, I'm going to see if I can fix it a little bit. But otherwise, I just sort of thought, well, Olympic stuff. It's either somebody who collects Olympics or they collect a bell. There might be a million of these out here, but for the money, it's worth getting. This, I have a hard time not going for something that obviously is probably handmade out of wood. And this is pretty nice. This is one of those, just the guy, I think it's for a guy to just put his wallet and his keys in there. And I thought it might be good for my son to have something like this, with a spare change in and that kind of stuff on his desk. He's only 10, but trying to train him to be a man, you know. So we got to have the man dish. So I figured, let's see if he likes it. But it's pretty, you know, it's sturdy, but it's light, so I think that might be teak. Not an expert in wood. All right, here are some books. I've got to do some research in them. That one obviously old. Favorite songs and hymns. Shape notes. Some pretty rough shape, but it's so old. It's the kind where they bound it with these huge staples. See the huge staples on there? So that's a sign that it's really old. And look at that. Oh, this is awesome. I didn't have time to look at it while I was there because I already felt like I was already there too long. Wow. Stamps, Baxter, Music and Printing Company, copyright 1939. And it's like all her friends from church signed it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The Johnny Shaw. I love Johnny Shaw. Mount Vernon Methodist Church. They cook good dishes there. They're Methodish, not Methodist. But anyway, probably United Methodist Church. Lots of writing, but that's kind of cool, you know. And then I just thought there was all this old stuff in here. That's cool to me too, and I love to check that stuff out. Looks like just mimeograph. Look at that. Rock of ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood. And I can't remember the rest of the song. I'm going to hell in a handbasket. Okay, and here some child got a hold of it. Probably in 1943. Anyway, because it's a 1939 book. Okay. Anyway, that I thought was really cool. Probably not rare, but I just like it. It warms my heart. And then Billy Graham, World of Flame, published by Doubleday. Doesn't have the paper cover. Could tell it was pretty old. 1965. Of course, you know, he had a million books published. But I did pretty well. I had a Billy Graham program that I sold for about $10. This is 1965. Ooh, it is a first edition. Oh my goodness. But you know, he probably sold a lot. I didn't even notice it was first edition. I was just going to buy it just because it was Billy Graham and it was old. Okay, We the People, Story of the United States Capitol. This is fascinating reading. This nation has an ennobling shrine. The Capitol is it. And the picture is light music fill the night at a Marine Corps concert. Okay. That's the United States Capitol Historical Society. 1964. The United States Capitol and Historical Society in cooperation with the National Geographic Society, Washington, D.C., 1964. And that... This before we had ISBNs. By the way, I'll just tell you right now, if you're interested in collecting books or trying to get them to resell, ISBN, you'll see that with the 10 digits on the back of a book. It stands for International Standard Book Number. And every number in that sequence of number says something. And you may not realize that. You may just think it's a number. So look at all this cool vintage stuff that they stuck in here. See, that's the treasure. That may be the treasure right there. So, oh, and there's a map. Yeah, I think I had seen the map, or it's something from the newspaper, and that kind of sold me on it. I was like, okay, I'm getting it. I mean, even if the book isn't worth anything to resell, it's a good thing to have kids read. The history of the Capitol does not change because it's history. Now, stuff will happen, like on September 11th and so forth, you know, that has happened since 1964, but it's still going to be interesting stuff to read. That's the way I look at it. History doesn't go out of date, unless it's found to be false, but the city that belongs to all of us. This is some interesting stuff. This is copyright 1956. Ticonderoga Publishers. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should send it to the president. Maybe he should read this stuff. Okay, let's see here. What we've got. These are some clippings back from the Carter administration. I wonder why they... Oh no, it's from Clinton. Maybe I'll have to take a look at that, why everything that's in there and why these folks save those things. Why they put newspaper clippings in this and not the little booklet. That's probably more valuable. But anyway, cool stuff. Oh, and then of course I got the bin too. So that can come in handy. So I think I got a pretty good deal. Now I've got to go and start listing some of this stuff. And hope you found something interesting out of the lot. It was a lot of fun to go. I hope that it wasn't due to a death. I hope it was just an elderly person going to a senior home or something. I'm one of those people where I feel bad not paying them much money for things. I feel sorry for the family. So I may not have the mercenary heart enough to do the reselling. But anyway, that's what I found, and I'll give you an update later on how things go. Talk to you soon. Bye.